Good morning students, welcome to SST So Simple tutorial. In the previous class, we read about coming up of the factory and the pace of industrialization. Today, we will read Unit 2, Hand Labor and Steam Power. In this unit, we will cover two important questions. First, why did some industries in 19th century prefer hand labor over machines? And the second on the life of workers. Let us first see the situation of labor supply in Britain during the Victorian age. During the Victorian age, there was no shortage of labor. Poor peasants moved to the cities in large numbers in search of work. Since there was plenty of labor, wages were bound to be low. This itself was a good reason for not adopting machines. So the industries were hesitant to adopt labor displacing expensive technologies. Many industries were seasonal in nature. They worked only during a particular part of the year. During season, these were under tremendous pressure to produce more to meet market demand. For example, during winter, the laborers were employed in breweries. During Christmas, workers were employed in printing works. Also during winter, ships were repaired and spruced up. At other times, they did not have much to do. Such industrialists preferred hand labor and employed workers for the season only. A number of products could be produced only with hand labor. This was especially true of those products that involved intricate designs and specific shapes. Machines are designed to produce only uniform standard products for the mass market. For example, in Britain, 500 variety of hammers and 45 kinds of axes were produced in the 19th century. So for products which require intricate designs and specific shapes, human skills were required and not machines. Also, the upper classes of Britain preferred goods produced by hand. They were better finished, individually produced and carefully designed. They symbolized refinement and class. Machine-made goods were meant for exports to the colonies. Thus, we can see in labor-abundant Britain, machine could not easily displace human labor. In contrast, countries like America, which had labor shortage, were keen to use machines. In view of this, industries were hesitant to adopt labor displacing expensive technologies. Let us now see the lives of workers in England during the late 19th century. England was a labor surplus country during the 19th century. This affected the life of workers in many ways. 1. There were limited opportunities of job. A mass of workers remained unemployed. Unless people had friends or kin relatives in a factory, getting a job was difficult. 2. Many job seekers had to spend weeks in pursuit of jobs. They had no shelter in the cities. They spent their nights under bridges or in night shelters. Some stayed in night refuges. Some stayed in the casual wards maintained by the poor law authorities. This is a painting named Houseless and Hungry, made by Samuel Luke Fildes. This painting shows the homeless in London applying for tickets to stay overnight in a workhouse. Third, many industries were seasonal in nature. During off seasons, the workers in those industries used to find themselves on the roads again. Therefore, many workers returned to their villages after winter. Also, rising prices badly affected the workers. Their wages would not change. It would mean the real incomes continued to decline during this period. Low wages coupled with unemployment resulted in widespread poverty and misery among the working class. The fear of unemployment made the workers hostile in the introduction of new technology. This is spinning jenny, devised by James Hargreaves in 1764. It speeded up the spinning process and reduced labor demand. There is an instance when spinning jenny was introduced in the woolen industry. Women who survived on hand spinning began attacking the new machines. You can read source B given in your book. More employment opportunities came to be created only when building activities intensified in the cities. This happened after 1840s. From the 1850s, railway stations began coming up all over London. This picture was published in the Illustrated Times in 1868. Here we can see a shallow underground railway being constructed in central London. Activities like widening of roads, construction of railway stations, extension of railway lines, digging of tunnels, laying down of drainage and sewers, embankment of rivers, etc. all proved to be labor intensive. So students, we can say that the life of workers was miserable. It was full of hardships. Thus we finished the topic planned for today. I hope you have understood the lesson discussed now. Let us now see the probable questions from this part of lesson. Question number 1. What was the situation of labor supply in Britain during Victorian age? 2. Why did some industrialists in 19th century Europe prefer hand labor over machines? 3. How did the abundance of labor in the market affect the lives of workers in England during the 19th century? Explain with examples. This has come as 5-mark question in 2019. Describe the life of British workers of the 19th century. This has come as a 4-mark question in 2010. In the next class, we will move further to discuss Unit 3, Industrialization in the Colonies. Till then, keep reading and have a nice time. Thank you.